A car was driving 60 miles per hour. How many hours will it take the car to drive 132 miles? Upon reading the question the first time, two things stand out. The first is that we're dealing with the speed of a car, hours, and how far the car will drive. The second thing is that in being given the speed of the car, 60 miles per hour, we're being given a ratio. 60 miles per hour is a ratio, a comparison, 60 miles compared to 1 hour. As we go through and solve the rest of the question, this ratio will become crucial to our work. In terms of the process of actually answering this question formally, I need to again recognize what is the question, and it begins with how many hours. How many hours will it take to drive 132 miles? That is what our variable will represent. To make the variable have some context, I would choose to use h for hours. So I will let h represent the number of hours it will take to drive 132 miles. Now that we have the variable defined, we need to use that variable in an equation. The trick to solving word problems that involve ratios is first setting up one ratio where you know every value. We will refer to that as the known ratio. We will set that ratio equal to the ratio that is missing something, which we could call the incomplete ratio. It is key when you set up a proportion or a ratio, you know and are consistent with the structure of your ratio. Given that the first ratio we have already set up is 60 miles compared to 1 hour, all ratios used in this proportion will need to have that same structure. So we begin setting up our equation, 60 miles compared to 1 hour. That is our known ratio, and we'll set that equal to the incomplete ratio. In the incomplete ratio, we need to use the other information that was given. I know we need to drive 132 miles, I don't know how many hours. But keeping the miles on the top of both ratios, I will have to put 132 miles on the top of the incomplete ratio. Since I don't know the number of hours, but that's what our h represents, we'll put h down into the denominator. And so that's the proportion. In other words, that is the equation we need to solve. 60 miles compared to 1 hour is equal to 130 miles compared to how many hours? When we go to solve this equation, we'll typically drop the units and just write it like this. 60 over 1 is equal to 132 over h. Following our standard process for solving equations with fractions, I'm going to multiply both sides of this equation by both denominators. I'm going to multiply by 1 to cancel out the 1 over there, and I'm going to multiply by h to cancel out the h on the right side. When we simplify this, the 1's over on the left side of the equation will cancel, and the h's on the right side of the equation will cancel. This will leave us the equation 60h equals 132 times 1, or 132. Our final step in solving this particular equation, 60h equals 132, is to eliminate the coefficient on the h. Since it's currently 60h, we need to divide both sides of the equation by 60 to cancel out that coefficient. The final step is to now divide 132 by 60. Quickly throwing this calculation into my calculator, 132 divided by 60, the calculator returns is 2.2. Therefore, we know that h is equal to 2.2. As always, I want to check that we do have the correct solution for this equation, and in turn the correct answer to the question. The way to check it is to make sure that these two ratios are actually proportional. Is 60 over 1 actually equal to 132 divided by 2.2? That's going to be our check. Well, I know 60 divided by 1 is 60. And again, if I bring up my calculator, I can check, is 132 divided by 2.2 also equal to 60? Well, typing that in, 132 divided by 2.2, the calculator does show us that is equal to 60. Therefore, I know driving 60 miles every 1 hour is equivalent to driving 132 miles every 2.2 hours. The final step is to answer the question, how many hours will it take to drive 132 miles? It will take 2.2 hours to drive 132 miles.